This example is showing why you may want to be able to sort based on a selection. So here we are using stacked bar charts as a way to represent the distribution of daily change by stock, where the dark red represents or corresponds to days that had a high decrease in price, while dark blue corresponds to days that had a high increase in price. And then the length of the bar tells you the frequency in which each of those scenarios occurred. So by default, the stocks are sorted by the total number of days or total percent of days that were positive growth rates. So it's basically just sorting based on the total aggregation of number of days across all blue bars. And so that tells you that MasterCard was the stock that had the highest number of positive growth days. However, it doesn't tell you anything about the magnitude of growth on those days. Like you can see here, for example, while Shopify and Wayfair have a fewer number of positive growth days, their positive growth days had a much higher growth rate. So, with nearly a quarter of them between 1 to 3% growth rate and 14% of days with over 3% growth rate. And so for that reason, you may want to be able to sort just based on the percent of days that had a growth rate of over 3%. And now you see that MasterCard actually falls out of these top stocks when you group it in that way. Or maybe you want to see the sort based on the number of days that had a growth rate over 1%. So now it's effectively grouping together these two categories here and sorting on that. So it's a group and a sort. Or you may want to find the most volatile stocks. And so in that case, you may want to sort based on the extremes. So now it's sorting based on the combination of decrease over 3% and increase over 3%. So you see that Sears comes out on top, and there's a few other sort of bricks and mortar retailers in here that maybe are perhaps struggling to compete with online retail. Or maybe you want to see which ones are the least volatile, which ones have no change at all, or which ones change the most, or sort of are least volatile in terms of where you define volatility as a range between -1% and 1% growth. So now it's sorting on those three categories aggregated together, and you'll see that the ones that come out top are not actually companies, but they're rather funds that aggregate many different stocks together, and that's usually what produces very sort of lower volatility daily returns, because it's aggregating multiple stocks. So this is just an example of why you might want to express other types of behaviors, such as grouping and sorting, through interaction with a visualization. And the next video is going to show you how to rebuild this.